Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Golf GTI Clubsport S video blog. Today I'm going to give you a good tour of the car and point out the features of it that make it such a special GTI. The Edition 40 it's based on is brilliant, and as anniversary models go, it's got to be the best one yet, but it's been somewhat overshadowed by the hype of this ring record car. So let's show you what makes it so special. The most important tweak over the standard Mark 7 Golf GTI that applies to both the Edition 40 and the Clubsport S was the package of aerodynamic tweaks that were designed to produce downforce at speeds of above 70 miles an hour. Most of this involves reshaping of the bumpers to include strange little features like this, where you can actually see the tyre. We've got a radiator of some sort in there, while in this one there doesn't appear to be much, because you can put your arm in well past the elbow. Things get more interesting at the rear, where we've got a unique to the Clubsport S and Edition 40 rear spoiler, which has got a slot underneath it for air to escape, and quite a interesting shape to it. It does a good job of looking quite discreet but serving a purpose. The rear bumper's not been left untouched either. It's got these interesting blades that go into a diffuser, which, unlike some of the cars, is quite smooth. It hasn't got the vertical sections that break it up, so presumably it's been tested to work better like that rather than look good. There aren't many people who tune a Golf without starting with the exhaust system, and Volkswagen are no different with the Edition 40 and the Clubsport S, because they both feature a bigger bore exhaust system. Unlike the Golf R, we've only got two tailpipes, which is the GTI trademark. The four pipes are for the R, but somewhat unexpectedly the GTI sounds massively better than the too refined for its own good R, mainly because on the overrun it does some amazing pops and crackles. On upshifts it will do a bark that's similar to the DSG fart that you might have heard before, but this is a manual car of course. And also on warm startup it will do 1, 2 or even 3 crackles, which is a bit childish, I know, but it's still good fun and somewhat unexpected from a usually straight-laced Volkswagen, so well done. One of the biggest differences between the Edition 40 and the Clubsport S is the front brakes. On the Edition 40 you've just got a standard one-piece disc made of steel. On the Clubsport S you have a two-piece disc with an aluminium bell and a steel disc which is mounted onto the bell by a series of pins. This leaves a gap into which the disc can expand when it gets hot, as it would do if you're driving it on track. We've also got Clubsport S on the brake calipers, where the Edition 40 just says GTI. It's got a nice white GTI logo. Another little weird inconsistency is that the centre caps on the Edition 40 have got a red ring around them, while the Clubsport S ones are just plain. One of the key defining features of the Clubsport S is the tyre, which is a Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2. This is what you call a semi-slick tyre. It comes with about 4 to 5 millimetres of tread new compared to 8 millimetres on a normal tyre. It doesn't really work very well below 7 degrees, but above that it works pretty well in the wet and the dry. I think the original Cup tyre had a bit of a reputation for not working well on the road at all really, because it needed the heat you get from track use. But the Cup 2 is a good all-rounder, and hence why Volkswagen have deemed it suitable to be fitted to a road car without any warnings or indemnities needed to warn the driver of their inability to work in the cold. I found it a bit tricky, but then again I bought the car in December, it's January now, so hopefully when the weather gets above 7 degrees we'll see some of their benefits. An interesting little thing is that this car has Porsche tyres on it. Might relate to the fact that the team leader for Volkswagen, Carsten Schebstadt, used to work for Porsche, and he did the GT3 cars. N-rated tyres, which means I think they've come off the front of a 911. The standard wheel on the Clubsport S is the Pretoria rim, which is more often seen on the Golf R. You can actually have this on your Edition 40 as well, but you pay over £2,000 because it comes bundled with the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyre. The Clubsport S also gets unique front suspension knuckles, or more commonly called hubs. These allow it to run a bit more negative camber, which helps it get better grip during cornering. Under the bonnet, everything looks pretty normal. We've got the CJX engine, which is a 2-litre TSI chain-driven engine. This is the same basic engine as in the Golf R, or even the Edition 40, but with different software, which is signified by a different letter at the end of the engine code. What we don't have here, though, is a soundproofing pad under the bonnet, which is presumably part of the weight-saving measures. Plus the Clubsport S gets a smaller battery, so you can actually see there's a screw hole where the bigger battery bracket would go, so it's a couple of inches smaller. Okay, let's have a look inside. And the Clubsport S gets the lovely Recaro bucket seats, which have got Alcantara sections for grip, cloth in the middle, the honeycomb design, which is a bit of a GTI trademark, goes back to the grille, which only started on Mark 5s actually. We've got heated seats as well, which is a bit strange in a lightweight car, but very welcome. And we have got a Alcantara rim steering wheel with a dead ahead marker. We've got some buttons on the steering wheel, but not the full quota, because these cars come with the front assist radar, but it's not connected to cruise control. So none of the cruise buttons are on there, but we've got the trip computer and audio. We've got the unique numbered plaque, which the gear knob is in the way of. This one's number 154 of 400. I think the UK's got between 100 and 250. I'm not sure, and I'd love to know where the rest of them have gone. Presumably some are in Germany. I guess there must be some other territories as well, but not sure where. All of the cars come with Discover Nav, which is a smaller screen. A defining feature of the Golf GTI Clubsport S is the lack of back seat, which along with the seat belts, the spare wheel, the boot floor and any tools has been binned in order to save weight. The luggage net you can see there is my own, that's out of an A3. I thought I'd fit that because in the event of an accident, any luggage you've got down there will just go flying everywhere. So I was quite pleased that they still left the hoops in the body where that can be attached. There's no tyre foam or spare wheel, so in the event of a puncture, you've really got nothing you can do to get yourself back on the road apart from ring Volkswagen assistance and get towed somewhere, but that's not going to be ideal, so it does take away the touring potential of this car. Just like any Mark 7 Golf, the Clubsport S has got 4 driving modes that can be cycled through using the button by the gear stick. We've got Comfort, Normal, Race and Individual. Race is normally only used on the Golf R. The GTI normally gets Sport, but even more interesting than that bit of trivia is that the ring mode is hidden within the individual mode. So you've probably seen individual before. It lets you pick and choose the settings for the steering, suspension, throttle response and all these. Obviously the Clubsport S has got DCC, which is an optional extra on the Edition 40. That's dynamic chassis control, adaptive suspension basically. And the way the hidden ring mode works is that if you reset all these settings in individual now, which are now a jumble of Comfort, Race and Normal, you end up with the settings that the team used for setting the record at the Nürburgring, which gives you comfort in the suspension. Yep, that's true, you know, comfort in shock absorbers. Although, to be fair, comfort mode on this car is nothing like comfort mode on the Golf R. It's far stiffer in every setting. And then you get everything else in race, so you've got aggressive throttle, diff and steering. And that is ring mode. So I hope you've enjoyed my overview of the Golf GTI Clubsport S, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button to say you've liked it and subscribe, because there'll be a lot more on this car in the future, including giving it a good drive very soon. Thanks.